everyone, and welcome to episode 13 of the Slated Double Features podcast with your hosts, Joshua Francisco Mitchell and the reanimated Matthew Vivian. Hello, Matt.
Hello.
Wow.
That was a sort of Frankenstein
really
type thing.
Yeah, that was more Minecraft Zombie, I would say, than Frankenstein. That was... What's the Steve getting hit noise? Like, Did you see that Jennifer Coolidge has been cast in the Minecraft film?
Right. I did hear, who's playing Steve? It's someone really weird, like
Jason Momoa. Is like the lead, yeah. Jason Momoa, Jennifer Coolidge. I'm ready for that.
They've been working on that for years. It's not particularly relevant. I mean, people still play Minecraft, which is crazy considering how long ago it came out. But yeah, it's I don't know. They maybe should have capitalised it a few years ago. Because at one point
it was meant to be all over again.
I know, yeah. Well, at one point it was meant to be Rob McElhenney directing, but in one of the stages of development, and then he clearly was like, "Why would I want to direct the Minecraft movie?" Did you see that Welcome to Wrexham won 5 Emmys? Now I've only seen 2 episodes, and it was all right, but for a show that was made literally right, so obviously Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney bought Wrexham because they're very rich people and they need to keep their money in assets so that it's more like stable. And so for a show about rich people buying a football team just to keep their money in a good place, like that won 5 Emmys. Better Call Saul's been nominated for like 53 or something. I know. And it never won a single one. That is crazy.
I know.
Better Call Saul is a phenomenal show.
I think it just goes to show that we live in a society through and through.
And like
we do,
some of the actors who won, like Storm Reid for The Last of Us, that one episode she was in, like she was fine. It's like she was like Ellie's love interest in that like mall episode. It's like she was fine.
She was just
Why
child.
Does she have an
she was
Emmy?
just other child. Yeah.
And it's like Peter Dinklage won one like every year for Game of Thrones. He won them like a bunch of times. One of the seasons he was barely in, and he won one. And it's like, why? It's just same with Oscars. It's like they've got Oscar people and people who don't get Oscars, and it's just I don't know. So stupid. And then Bob Odenkirk never won for Saul, even though he did like 10 seasons.
How's your week been? Been up to anything good?
I've been colour grading, pretty much.
Oh, what have you been colour grading?
Well, I've been doing lots of day for night, so I've been making it look like dark and blue, but that means people's faces go blue, so then I've been masking around faces to make them less blue.
I hate that so much. I hate it.
It's been awful.
Like having to go through frame by frame, and because you still use Resolve, don't you? No, you use.
I did on Premiere.
Premiere, yeah. Because at least in Resolve,
it is
the color system on that is much better.
Much better. I know. I should just do Resolve, but I don't know. I'm not a good enough editor to do AAF files and that and go between them.
Yeah.
I'm just going to.
At least you can in Resolve, you can like track forward, and it does its best to mask and track certain colours all the way through certain movements, and then you just have to go through and make slight adjustments.
I mean, definitely my next film, I'm going to stop getting Premiere because it's too expensive and it's rubbish anyway, and I'll just edit on Resolve, because you can edit well as well, even though it's meant for colour grading, you can edit pretty well on it.
Yeah, that's where I do all of my editing.
Yeah, I'll do that from now on.
And you said your next one's going to be black and white as well, so you won't have to colour it at all.
I mean,
you just do up the contrast, and then you've sorted. You're done.
The film I made at uni wasn't meant to be black and white, but the colours just looked rubbish, so we just put it in black and white, and I think it kind of worked. But
Matt, can you rephrase that, but say it was an artistic choice?
So, because it's such an artistic film, we made the conscious decision to do it in black and white. It's annoying because we had like actual in the costumes, like I made like the main character like blue and white, and then her colleagues who like oppose her like in their points of view are like orange and black, and it was I did some, and there was a really great shot where it was like someone going from the warm like orange like into like the into like the blue where it's like a different, they're making a big leap, and it was really great, but we made the film black and white because most of it looked terrible and black and white looked nicer.
It's always the way. That's what you get
for not
having any money. Maybe we should put all of our money into a football team. I know. And then at least we know our money's safe in assets, and then we can put it into films.
And then we'll get all the Emmys.
All of the Emmys.
What have you been up to? You're still working?
Still working. I've been in Rye all this week.
Rye? That's true.
Rye.
That's miles away, that is.
It was a 3-hour drive there and a 3-hour drive back. I'm surprised at how warm it is. sorry, how not cold and windy.
Yeah, because it's very cold and windy here.
Yeah, it was lovely down there. It was temperate, nigh on exotic, I would say.
Oh, bloody hell.
Yeah, I had many layers on that all came off, including my heated gilet.
Wow.
That was off. But it's great. I've only got 7 more shoot days on this, and then we're done, which is quite scary, because then I'm back in the land of unemployment.
Well, that's the way when you're in the film industry.
But yeah, other than that, I think this kind of goes into our next segment. Weekly Roundup Yee Haw.
Oh my god, let's do it. Right.
But I haven't seen anything.
Oh, okay.
I've
seen a few things. So I watched The Curse, the Nathan Fielder, Emma Stone show.
Me.
Have you seen it?
My friend said I need to be on it. I watched the first one and then work started and haven't seen any since. And he said it was amazing and I need to finish it.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes. So I watched the first 2, I think, the weeks they came out. And then I sort of stopped. And then I watched the third one at some point. And then basically... It was because it's so slow. It was like, oh god, I'm not really feeling. I really liked it to start off with, and I was like, oh, I don't know, it's so nothing's happening in every episode. And then I finally a few days ago binged all the rest of the episodes, and it's a show you have to binge, because otherwise you're not getting your weekly fulfillment. Otherwise, you really need to watch it all in one go.
Interesting. Okay.
But it's really good, and Emma Stone is fantastic. And I tell you what, in Poor Things, her character could not be more different, and. It was when I'd occasionally in the cinema be like, I can't believe this is Whitney from The Curse, because it just shows she's honestly just an incredible actor. Apart from the fact they have the same face, there was nothing in common. But no, The Curse is really good. But have you heard about the finale? I won't ruin it, but I'll just say
I've heard it described as one word, and if you don't want to hear this one word, then please skip ahead. As Kafka-esque, and that's all I need to know.
Yeah, it's very unlike the rest of the show. It's crazy, to be honest. It's mental.
That's exciting.
When you watch the first episode, you will never in a million years assume the finale will be this. But it was great, honestly. It was probably the best episode.
I am very excited. When this job's ended, I'm just going to catch up on all of the stuff I should have been watching, other than the 2 we need to watch every week.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be good.
Well, I've already seen next week's. I'm now
I know you're ahead of the game.
Mean Girls fan after never having seen it before. But yeah, what else have I watched? I have watched... Oh, because... Now this is going more into next week. Because I loved Mean Girls so much when I watched it for the first time, I thought I'd watch a similar film, and I watched But I'm a Cheerleader, which is about a lesbian cheerleader goes to one of these Pray the Gay Away camps. And it was a really funny comedy. It was quite good. Not really much to say about that, but it was pretty funny. RuPaul was the ex-gay guy. It was just strange.
Okay.
I watched Nope. Brilliant.
Nope. First time? Second time?
Second time. I watched it in the cinema. I thought when I watched it in the cinema it was maybe slightly anticlimactic, because I think because I wanted to see a cool alien design inside the ship. And then obviously there's the twist. And I think when I rewatched it this time and knowing what was coming and not therefore getting disappointed, it's such a good film. What I love most about film, why I didn't really click with Boy and the Heron, is when that's just sort of random stuff happening. I like setup and payoff. I love, and I think obviously I love Edgar Wright for that, how there's so much setup and so much paid off, and it's so well done. I think Jordan Peele is also brilliant at that. I think Get Out is just a perfect movie. Every single line is so important to at some point later in the film. It's all set up perfectly, and I think Nope's much the same. Just when you watch it back, it's oh god, every single thing clever. is so clever.
And it's one of those films that can be reinterpreted in different ways. As people in the film industry, we can watch it and understand it from that angle, or equally. You've got all the stuff about eyes in it, and about exploitation, and the usual themes that you'd see in his films, and things that are just specific to Nope. It's so tight. The themes are great throughout. What a great film. Yeah, other than the alien being a bit silly at the end.
But now I've
other than that,
now I know it.
great.
I think what a genius sort of alien design idea. I think it was incredible. And then the only other thing I've watched, apart from Mean Girls and stuff, is The Great Escape, which is one of my favourite films of all time. Have you seen it?
I haven't.
I absolutely love it. I watch it every couple of years.
Do you mean Chicken Run?
Sorry, no, I meant Chicken Run.
Yeah.
No, I love in films like when what I said in Godzilla -1 when characters have like a clever plan and like satisfyingly seeing it executed. Like, and what I love about The Great Escape is they sort of condense down like the hundreds of people into like had like different departments in the escape, like the forgers and the tailor making their like fake suits out of their like uniforms, and the scroungers like nicking all the stuff, and like they condense all the departments into like one character, and so it's so satisfying seeing them be like really clever at their jobs, and it's meant to be like all of the most like escaping prisoners they all put in one place, and it's just so satisfying seeing the way they do, and it's so clever. And I think the escape is pretty accurate to real life. I mean, being an American film, they make like the leads like American, when in real life they were like,
great.
I think they were like Polish and Czech and stuff. But no, it's a brilliant film. And then it gets quite sad because it doesn't entirely go as planned.
Oh, spoilers. So is it like the Ocean's films and Execution, like that kind of?
I guess kind of, yeah, to a certain extent. But it's like that has like the twist for the audience where like where we just thought like chronologically always with the characters. But no, really good. I'd really recommend it. It's
amazing. No,
considering it's from
1963.
It's I don't know. It feels like quite fast paced. It's 3 hours long, but so much happens in that time. I just think it's so watchable. I love it.
Can you believe that was a time before Jason Momoa was cast in the Minecraft film? That's just bizarre to think about.
I know, it's so sad that most of the cast are dead and they never got to see the Minecraft movie. Okay, so we watched Poor Things this week. Do you want to give a one-sentence summary to the audience?
Oh boy. Is it a word count or is it a sentence count?
I think a sentence count. I mean, don't take the piss with commas, but I think because... we need to reevaluate the way we do these reviews from our Boy and the Heron one that was just listing the entire plot and me going, it just wasn't really my cup of tea, to be honest. Like, I think we need to just really quickly summarise it.
You should have heard the existential conversations we had about like what is good, what is good from us, what is good from anyone, and Boy and the Heron review was not.
No.
So let's see. Emma Stone kills herself, and then she comes back alive by Willem Dafoe, and then she goes on a journey of self exploration and exploration of women and of men and of sex and of life and big themes.
Yeah, that'll do.
Thank you very much. What did you think to Poor Things?
I liked it. I
feel like we're going to be at heads today
because you thought it was perfect. I gave it 4 stars. I did like it, but I will say I think because I went in with such expectations, everyone gave it 5 stars. I was expecting like every second of this I'm going to love, and I think maybe it was more noticeable that I was, because I had those expectations, I was sort of spotting flaws and like, well, I'm not too much of a fan of certain parts, but mostly really good. I can pinpoint exactly what I don't like. I don't know if we'll do it now or later. But do you want to say what you
Yes, we'll get into that in spoilers. I thought this was a perfect film. For me, this is the film of 2023. I think we briefly mentioned that coming out of 2023, we were like, there hasn't been any big hitters.
Yeah.
But that was before all of the releases from America are now starting to come out over here.
Well, yeah, when we did that tier list video, we... which still isn't out yet, but I'm sure it will be at some point.
It will be. It'll be out.
We were saying how there weren't very many like A and S tier films, and then shortly after watching that, I watched like 4 4-star films. So I think there are some like decent ones, but yeah, you're right. There have been like basically no really heavy hitters, and I'm very happy this was.
Barbie was great. Oppenheimer was great, but they weren't perfect films for me. No. But Poor Things was, I think, it is elevated by its premise. It is able to explore themes in an abstract way that you couldn't if it wasn't this kind of story.
Yeah.
And I think it takes it to every angle that you'd want to go.
I think
like
that's
the
fair.
themes of womanhood and how that kind of evolves from being a child to being a woman, and the people around you, how they then have to deal with those changes.
Yeah.
I just thought it was great. Story-wise, like spot on.
Well, I saw on your letterbox list of 2023 ranked, you put it in the first spot. It's your favourite film. It's my 19th of 59, so that's still good. It's between Past Lives and Transformers: Rise of the Beast.
Is a travesty.
I think maybe Transformers: Rise of the Beast was a little bit high, to be completely honest. I think maybe that should go down a little bit.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you that what didn't work for me. If they made that one change, I would like a hell of a lot more. I hated Mark Ruffalo in this film. I thought he was terrible. I loathed his performance, and so he really took me out of it, and that's what it was.
I watched this film, and I turned to Caitlin, who I saw it with, and I said, is Mark Ruffalo a good actor or not? Because I can't tell.
No,
is this
not.
A Keanu Reeves scenario? Or like is he just being like the next step up? Because he's done good acting before. He's done actual roles that aren't just like Marvel.
I mean, like, he was in Spotlight, wasn't he? I've seen him in other stuff, but like, he's never been the best
Zodiac,
actor.
I think he was in as well, wasn't he?
Maybe it was Zodiac. I'm just thinking of him in like a sort of detective's like bullpen, so it might have been Zodiac I'm thinking of. He's fine, but he's never been the best actor in the movies. No. When you look at the Avengers, I think they're pretty perfectly cast, but he's like, he does the job as Bruce Banner, but I think they could have got a better one. And I tell you what it is for me. Like, take Emma Stone. Like, obviously Bella Baxter is such a wacky character. She's not in any way realistic, but I completely buy like why she does everything. Like, I think she feels justified in all of her actions, and in that way she feels like a real person. And I think it's so masterful how Emma Stone can take a character who is so unlike a real person and still make me completely believe her. I just don't. When I watch Mark Ruffalo's performance, I think it's Mark Ruffalo putting on a silly voice. His character is obviously silly, but he's not even as silly as some of the others. And yeah, I just really, really didn't buy him. I just thought it was him putting on the worst English accent I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was very much Keanu Reeves in Bram Stoker's Dracula, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was very similar to that.
But I think his place in the film fit exactly what was needed. That he is like the manifestation of insecurity in men.
Yeah. But that's the thing. I get that from like the subtext and that. I never got it from him.
I think he's great. I think he starts off as like a very like suave character.
Yeah.
But only if you're a child and you see him like, wow, look at this guy.
Yeah.
He's off gallivanting and sleeping with women. But then as soon as there's any sort of pushback against his very like regimented beliefs, he like falls apart.
Yeah.
And I think him at the end as just like a really bitter, sad man who presents himself as being free-loving and supportive of women and adventure, but actually doesn't want any of that at all. Yeah. I think I can't tell if it was meant to be like that, if his performance was purposeful, or whether he was just not good.
I think he's just not good.
I think it struck gold that it worked either way.
I don't know. I think it's also the character I don't... basically, when he came in... So I was really enjoying Rami Youssef's character, who kind of seems like he's like pegged to be the lead. And then we follow... He just suddenly, Mark Ruffalo's introduced, and then we go off with him instead. And I was like, but I was much more into the original character. And I think it's more interesting, the other character. And so the fact that we're experiencing this with a guy who just comes into the story for no reason. And then I didn't believe, like, when like Bella says, I just want to go on holiday with this random fella. Like, she's always been, Willem Dafoe forced her to stay in this place. I just didn't buy any justification for why he suddenly changed his mind. It was very, very strange for me how he just suddenly came into the story and suddenly just overtook it, and I just didn't care.
What about him, or about that part of the story onwards?
Well, the middle of the movie that's got him in is like my least favourite part. Like the stuff on the boats, I didn't particularly care for him. Like when he's like being all pathetic around her in Paris, I didn't really care for. When they're in, I can't remember where it's meant to be, like Athens or whatever. And then as soon as he left the movie, I was in again. I thought it was great when she's like working in the brothel. I don't know. I was like so turned off by that character.
How interesting.
But I loved the rest of the movie.
It was just, I really liked it. Have you seen an animated show from maybe like 5 years ago called Midnight Gospel on Netflix. No. It is gorgeous. It's got like 6 episodes.
Yeah.
And it starts with, it's like bookended by a very loose narrative, and you follow this wizard-looking fella who buys like a VR machine, and then he goes into this VR machine, experiences a story, and then comes back out into his world with like an artifact from it, or like learning something from it. And it's not, when you're in this world that he's entered, it's not like a conventional narrative. It's more like a podcast.
Yeah.
It's like he's gone in and is interviewing someone in this world, and they're like about big philosophical ideas, and they're all being represented by these visuals and this visual story going on. And then he leaves and takes it on board, and then goes into the next one, and it's completely different. It's then about life and death. It's then about prison. It's then about sex. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I've never seen anything like it before, and I'd recommend it. And Poor Things reminded me of that so much, that she almost like injects herself into these stories, and then explores very philosophical ideas, and then takes them on board and grows and evolves, and it moves on. And then she's somewhere completely different and does it again with a different story and different ideas. I thought it was just such a clever way of raising so many almost hard to talk about topics, but exploring them in almost like very podcasty ways, like that. Like on the boat with the couple talking about like very cynicism and optimism, or when they're in the brothel, when they're talking about sex and love and bodies, and it's just great. I just loved it so much.
Yeah, there's a lot of good themes. I think when she's in the brothel to the end, I think is very strong. I probably my favourite part of the movie. Well, I really like the opening when we're first introduced to her, but I like the black and white stuff. I don't know why that was in black and white, but it just was. But I think it's just pretentious, to be honest. I don't think that had any need to be. But
Matt, your uni film was in black and white. Can you not say that,
but
please?
Maybe the lighting. Maybe he wasn't happy with the lighting. Probably. I think I loved the ending. Like when her, well, I guess her mum's like husband comes back, and she's like in his life. I think that's fantastic. Really love that bit. I love just. Do you want to talk about what I think is the strongest part of the movie? Basically the visuals, the production design, like cinematography. I think it's wonderful. I love the skies in this. Like, it reminded me of Flash Gordon when they have like the colourful ink in water. I don't know if that's how they did it in this, but it looked like that. And it's sort of, I always thought from the trailer it'd be in sort of a made up place, because it obviously says like Paris and London, all this, but it bears no resemblance to the cities it says it's set in.
Yeah.
It's just completely
very
whatever
fantastical.
Yorgos Lanthimos wants to. I mean, in Paris, remember, you see like there's like one shot where you see like the Eiffel Tower half constructed, and that's like, the only sort of Paris part of the whole thing.
I read into that because I wanted to talk about at the start. It's presented in a very unique way, and I think the visuals and the way it is shot develop along with her.
Yeah.
So like as you said at the start, it's black and white, and is a lot of very long takes with very wide lenses.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it is.
Did you see it, like really big fisheye lenses?
They didn't shoot the rest of the movie like that particularly. Yeah, there's some very strange shots in the opening, but I really liked them. But they were very bizarre. And
then I think that's just because she's like a child at that point, and is like learning and growing. And I think because it's
point of view from her, filmmaking is growing with it. Like,
I think so, or like her perception of the world.
Yeah,
and we're growing with that. So even I was like, well, maybe the world is normal. It looks like London and Paris and whatever, but the way she is perceiving it as this almost childlike view that then evolves throughout. She develops color, and it becomes more stringent with cinematic rules and that kind of thing. Yeah, it does evolve as it goes on.
You're right. I think maybe the final act looks kind of the most normal. They're in like a pretty normal church, and then his house, her like husband lives in, is pretty normal. Yeah, I think that's a good take. I never really thought about that. It's very clever. I mean, like all of the direction is incredibly clever.
Gorgeous. Yeah. So talk about Yorgos.
He's a great guy. Have you seen?
No, personally.
Well, I've never seen his Greek films. I love The Lobster. I didn't care for Killing of a Sacred Deer, and I love The Favourite. He does this like weird thing with the directing the actors, where they have, I guess in The Lobster and Killing of the Sacred Deer, they have this sort of like autistic deadpan. Like they I don't know how to describe it. Like everyone talks they say really weird things in a very monotone way. Which I thought works perfectly with The Lobster, because the whole thing is about relationships and forced romance, and so the fact they talk like really stilted and like unemotional, I think worked perfectly. I think
very Wes Anderson-y, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I think Killing of a Sacred Deer, I don't think it did work. I think it just, when it's about like a family like whose like kids dead, I think they lost the opportunity for a lot of emotion by doing that. But in this, they do. It's not quite the same, but it's quite similar, where they have some of the funniest, weirdest lines. I think the dialogue is like, no one would ever word any of the sentences the way that they're worded. But then they act as if it's like normal. It's almost like when people act Shakespeare, like they're just chatting gibberish, like no one talks like that these days, but they act as if it's normal. Like, she tried to grab my furry business, or my hairy business. What a strange thing to say.
You say that all the time. Come on. Yeah, Yorgos Lanthimos is great. I think he's just been like hit. He's like a real Jordan Peele, you could say.
Well, but I would say Us.
Yeah, he's like
scary,
a Matt and Joshua. Yeah. Really, I would say the Lobster's great. Killing of a Sacred Deer, The Favourite, and this. Yeah. I think this is his most ambitious and pays off completely. I think it works so well. The performances, although you didn't like Mark Ruffalo's one, Emma Stone is standout. Willem Dafoe is always great, and you can only get that from a director like him. Before we get into spoilers, it's also bizarre that this is shot in 1.66.
It was
very weird.
I like that aspect ratio, to be honest. Like, it's normally just done to be sort of arty and pretentious, but I like it a lot. European widescreen.
That's what I say. On to spoilers. I know we've spoken about a lot of it. I don't want to get into too much of the story beats. Yeah. But I would like to talk about, what do you think about the old twist with Bella? That how she came to be.
I thought that was strange, because that almost felt like, it's a twist. I thought it was weird how they revealed that so early. I was thinking when it sort of came back to this be relevant near the end, I thought maybe they could have, throughout the whole film, have like identity, like she's trying to wonder who she is, and we have a sort of mystery around that and a bit of hints, and then we actually revealed it at the end. But they didn't know. They told us pretty much right near the start that she was her mum, the mum's body and the unborn baby's brain. I guess that's kind of good to do at the start, though, because it means you have the setup for then the ending with the like husband character, how he has that same like lobotomy. Yeah, I thought with that, Willem Dafoe was dying. I thought they put Willem Dafoe's brain in.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen as well.
Yeah, so he'd live on.
Yeah.
And I thought the goat was just a funny reaction shot. But I think it like half worked how it was the goat, because it meant like it was like humiliating his body, and it meant that he died.
Yeah, it was great. It was almost like Barbie, really, the themes in this. That it was about a woman going out and learning about herself, learning about the world. Again, I'm going to speak for me here. I don't speak for you. Yeah. I personally am not attracted to women with very infantile natures. As I know, it's very promoted in this that everyone wants to have sex with her because she acts really like
creepy.
A child.
But I think it's meant to be really creepy. Like everyone she has sex with throughout the movie is like pretty gross, and that's kind of the point.
What about the crab man running around naked in Paris, filling her hair?
Yeah, that was disgusting. You have sort of similar themes with Under the Skin.
Yes,
but that is. Yeah. But I guess you're supposed to be attracted to that because it's meant to be that she's like alluring, like the men. She's alluring the audience too.
The last thing I'd like to talk about is one of my favourite artists, Jerskin Fendrix.
Don't know the fella.
He did the score for this.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a painter. Oh, the score was very good.
Musician. Yes.
What else has he done? I've never heard of him.
He is from the Brixton scene over here. Okay. He released an album from a couple of years ago called Winter Reese. It is unbelievable. It is such an amazing album. If you haven't heard it, go and listen to it. You'll you'll be blown away. It's one of those albums that you hear and it will like broaden horizons. It's great. It's so good. So it's lovely to see him do this.
Yeah, I looked him up, and this is his first film by the looks of things.
Yeah.
Like, he's not got a very extensive Wikipedia page, which is very impressive. I mean, it was fantastic. And
what a choice he was for this. I'm so glad that somehow Yorgos Lanthimos and Jerskin Fendrix met each other, because it's such a unique score that fits such a unique character and a unique film.
Yeah, like, I think it will get
the perfect pairing.
I think it will get a Best Original Score nomination at the Oscars. It's shortlisted.
Yes.
I think it will get a nomination.
I think it could win.
I think it could win, yeah.
I think it deserves to win.
Right, what more is it to talk about?
What did you rate? Yeah, what did you rate Poor Things?
I rated it 4 stars because I thought it was mostly very good. I just wish they got a different actor to play, I can't remember the name of the character, but Mark Ruffalo's character. I wish someone else played that part. Someone who is good. Mark Ruffalo is just such a oh god, what's his name? Jai Courtney. He's a Jai Courtney.
No, he's not. Don't even say that. Take that back.
He's not quite a
he's
Jared
not
Leto,
a Jai Courtney
who's always the worst part of the film. He's just an actor who, like, he works, but no one. He's a Dakota Johnson. Like,
no, he's not.
Why is she the lead of Madam Web? Like, she's not attracting any audience members in.
Yeah, but Madam Web looks like a fake film. All of the posters and trailers look like a fake film.
I swear they're just tax write-offs, those ones. They're appalling.
No, Mark Ruffalo, he's able to perform. Whether he's a good actor or not, I couldn't say. But he's like Nicolas Cage.
I wouldn't say Nicolas Cage is good. I love Nicolas Cage. Like, he has a hit once in a while. I thought he was really good in what was it called? Renfield.
Dream Scenario.
I haven't seen Dream Scenario, but I've heard he's good in that. I thought he was fantastic as Dracula, because he's right for that sort of role. But I can't think of a role that Mark Ruffalo's right for. I can't think of any role that someone else couldn't do a better job of.
I thought he was great in this. When he's like, Bella!
People always jump to that. That's one word. That's a one-word line. He did a good job of that. I like that bit. It was well done. It was one sentence.
When he just tells everyone to, fuck off. Things like that. Yeah. When he jumps on that guy at that sick dance scene and starts having a punch-up.
Yeah, that was okay. I preferred Rami Youssef, who was like the other guy. Is that his name?
I thought Rami Youssef was boring in comparison to everyone else.
But the character's meant to be straight. Like, he's meant to be more... And that's why I kind of feel like he'd be a better match with going through the movie with Bella, because he was like the most normal character and she's the most wacky.
But it shows her growth, that she's able to move past Mark Ruffalo, who is supposed to be the eccentric character of the Victorian era. That she moved past that. She's a modern lad. Not a modern lad, a modern lady.
She's independent, yeah.
She's independent. She's strong. And she has the brain of a child.
Yeah.
Good for her.
That was quite funny near the start, and she played it incredibly well. Like that. I thought it was very good, like the slow progression of her. Like, almost in every scene she gets like slightly more. Her vocabulary is like slightly wider, and she behaves slightly more mature. Very, very well done. I had one more thing to say.
It was 5 stars for me. Big 5 stars. And I don't think there's been a better film this year that I've seen.
Do you think it could win Best Picture? I think it will get a nomination.
Yeah, I don't think it will win because the Oscars are boring, and I think Oppenheimer's going to win.
I think Oppenheimer's probably going to win, yeah.
Because it's about America and America being good.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know, they're not particularly accurate, the Oscars. It's like Maestro will probably get a nomination when it's not a good film.
Yeah. Whereas this and Barbie say the same thing, but Barbie, I think, is written not as strongly. Barbie has to have a monologue by a character explaining about how hard life is for women, but this says it organically and naturally and is perfect.
I agree. I mean, I did quite like that, the monologue in Barbie. I thought it was quite well written, even though it was like very...
Like 5 minutes long.
It was. But to be fair... When I watched have you seen The Great Dictator? Fantastic Charlie Chaplin film. It's great.
No, I haven't actually.
It's really good. But that ends with like his version of Hitler delivering
the famous monologue.
Yeah, he gives a very famous monologue, which is about how everyone should just get along in the world, really. And that's the same as the Barbie monologue. Like, it's just so on the nose. There's no depth to it. He's just saying exactly what the point of the film is, and yet that's considered genius. I think just because it's old, to be honest. So, I don't think there's anything wrong with Barbie monologue. But I prefer Barbie. I thought it was more fun. But I think this film handled the themes very, very well. Good film. Thumbs up from me.
Good film. 2 thumbs up from me. Thank you, Yorgos. I look forward to your next one, sir.
Well, I think it's out this year. It's out quite soon.
Is it?
I think they've already shot it.
Oh my God.
It's called...
What is it?
Kind of Kindness, it's called. It stars Emma Stone and Willem Dafoe again. And Margaret Qualley, who is also in this film. But I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited to watch that. Yeah.
3 different stories.
Yorgos. I remember you coming out of Poor Things and just texting me, Yorgos Lanthimos slays.
I think it's fetch.
Wow, that's a spoiler for next week. Wow, Emma Stone sure was a poor thing in that film that I can't remember the name of. Now onto a Cursed double feature called Lars and the Real Girl from 2007. What's the plot?
Well, I think it was a strange film to... It was my pick, but we probably should have done Frankenstein. The reason was
suggested
because
Frankenstein.
You did, and I was like, well, there's a film called Lisa Frankenstein out later in the year, so we might do that.
Yes, yeah.
And I do think Lars and the Real Girl really has very little to do with Poor Things.
Yeah, I mean, it's been on my watch list for a while, and I was like, well, there's a fake lady in it. Emma Stone's kind of a fake lady. It's a bit love story.
A real lady. She's just weird.
She is a real lady, but she's a poor thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Bianca is she's strong, she's independent, and I'm sure we'll go into it. But what's the plot?
The plot is Ryan Gosling plays Lars, who's a very, very, very shy man. He won't talk to anyone, won't talk to women. But then suddenly he's confident and he talks to people, and that's because he gets a girlfriend. But his girlfriend isn't a real person. She is a anatomically correct sex doll he got off the internet.
Wow, that's pretty good. And I'd like to make a note to everyone that we are keeping to the 1-sentence summary, and that was much better than mine.
What did you think of it?
I really enjoyed it. I like films like this that are kind of very low key and are very character study-y. I love that.
It was.
There is like little to no plot through this. It's just you are watching this shy fellow.
Yeah.
The softest looking Ryan Gosling performance I've ever seen in my life. He's got a bit of punch to him. I just want to give him a big hug. He's got the softest cheeks I've ever seen.
He does, and a lovely little moustache.
Yeah, lovely little moustache. Just seeing him change and learn and evolve through the output of Bianca, his quote unquote real girl, his titular real girl.
Is real girl like the name of the brand of like those dolls? I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I don't know.
I think it might have been. Because obviously, I think the whole point of it is you think it's like his love interest, his like romance with the doll, but it's with Bianca, but it's actually with the real woman, his colleague.
Real girl.
Margot, was she called? Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess it's like it's a bit of a Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It's a bit of a...
Yeah.
An extra... When you actually watch the film, you're like, oh, that's not the meaning I thought it was, but that's very clever.
What did you think?
I liked it. I think you liked it a bit more. To be honest, I've got nothing negative to say about it, really. It was just... Yeah, it was just a film that I watched and enjoyed and moved on with my life afterwards. But no, I thought, good character study. Like you said, there's not very much plot at all. It's just, it follows some of the beats of like, I guess a romance. The guy's lost in life. He doesn't know what he's doing. He meets this girl and she changes him. And then you go through the highs, their relationship like building even more, the community accepting her and all that. And then, I don't know. We don't do spoilers, do we? Well, we don't care.
Yeah, I think we probably should. We've done like a little roundup. I'd like to go into spoilers. Before we do, because obviously we watch these together. Every film we sit down at the same time in the same city and watch them together in person.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
I was really distracted that as soon as Bianca was introduced, I couldn't help but see the massive tent in your trousers like the entire time. Whenever she's on screen, you were just like raging hard on, and I just couldn't get past that.
Yeah, I have now. I've actually got a Bianca now. They should do. That's some good like merchandise they could release.
Yeah, if this was an A24 film, they would be selling a life-size Bianca to buy.
I wonder
100%.
how much it cost. I bet that'd be a fortune.
Oh yeah. I wonder how much it costs.
Sorry.
I wonder.
Let me put it this way: you're not getting any Christmas presents this year.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'd recommend watching it. But I'd like to get a bit more deeper into it.
I did find weird how, considering she's like a sex doll, and we see from the reaction of Emily Mortimer's character that she is anatomically correct. We never saw like any semblance that he was fucking her. In fact, they sleep in different like houses,
different beds.
Yeah. But I guess that's to show that it's love that he's longing. It's not a lustful thing.
Yes,
and that's why everyone in the community accepts him so much. That's
why
actually
he's a soft boy.
Yeah, I said that I didn't really have criticisms. I think my only criticism is sort of like how the completely unrealisticness of the fact that his whole town like completely accepts the two of them. Yeah,
so that's I think let's put a big spoiler stamp here, because that's something that I wanted to talk about, because that's something that I really liked. I thought it was lovely that the conflict came from him as a character learning to find love, and I read into it as Bianca being like a projection of himself. And through her and the lovingness of the community and how much they love him, not Bianca, that's the conflict. It could have easily been, look at this dirty freak having sex with a dirty sex doll, let's make fun of him. But other than like a few comments...
Yeah, true. I know his brother was probably the least accepting, and then at the very start, like there's like a round table of, I don't know who they are, like the neighborhood watch or something. Like they sort of seem like in Hot Fuzz, where it's just people from all different jobs around the village.
The greater good.
Have a meeting. The greater good. Yeah, I don't know why they sort of loved him so much, because he doesn't do anything. He doesn't do like any like acts of kindness for them. Really, he doesn't even talk to people. I feel like if it was real. I don't know. I feel like I would probably bully him for being a freak, and I think he deserves it.
So I read into that like the community love of Lars, because it's kind of revealed throughout that Bianca's parents died when she was young, which is very much a projection of him. Yes, because him and his brother Gus lost their parents, or lost their mum very young, and were raised by their bad father. So I feel like it's such a small town, a small community, that everyone must know about it, and they're almost like, well, I understand why he's the way he is, and he's such a sweet guy, and he's never kind of really grown up into independence. He's living in his brother's garage. He's never rude to anyone. He's never like offensive. He's just the softest boy.
They know that it's just the sort of trauma, and it's a way of accepting it, and it's not harming anyone. I mean, I've heard a lot of people talk about it as like an allegory for accepting different sort of relationships, like gay relationships and stuff like that, like interracial. Like it's just an allegory for that. But yeah, I think, I don't know, in real life, if there was someone in your town whose girlfriend was a doll, it doesn't matter how sweet they are. I think people would still be like, that's weird though, isn't it?
It reminds me a bit of what was that film from a couple of years ago? Brian and something, a British comedy.
Charles, was it?
Brian and Charles.
You watched that? I don't think I didn't watch it.
Brian and Charles.
It's Brian Gittins, isn't it?
Yes, comedy where oddball in small village makes robot friend. Yeah. And whereas that's more of like an actiony comedy kind of thing, and this takes it a lot more straight. It's kind of very similar community vibes I get from that. They all band behind him, and the conflict isn't about the community making fun of him and making him an outsider. It's like them supporting him and helping him find his way through. I loved the reaction shots from Bianca through this. I thought they were hilarious.
Best actress right there.
100%. I haven't seen her I haven't seen her in anything else, but she was great.
No.
She was great.
Maybe she got cancelled. Maybe like Hollywood knows some dark secrets about her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've looked. It actually is. Yeah, Real Doll. Oh yeah, it's realdoll.com is where you get them from. So I guess they're called like real.
Oh, you just looked now for the podcast.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I just did some quick googling.
Yeah.
I've just recently found out this information. I thought I'd share what I just learned.
But the thing is, we both know that we share one of those really old, boxy 90s computers in your attic, like Courage the Cowardly Dog. and I went on there yesterday and saw that you'd bookmarked realgirls.com. So I don't know why you're pretending like you've just looked it up.
Maybe that was someone else. That might have been Caitlin.
It might have been Courage the Cowardly Dog. He might have done it. Who knows?
Shall we talk about Margot?
Kelly Garner plays Margot.
Yeah, I don't think I know her from anything else.
The Aviator, Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
I'm very sorry.
G-Force.
She was in G-Force. I watched G-Force in the cinema because I used to have pet guinea pigs, and I've never seen it since. And I have a feeling, even though I liked it as a kid, I have a feeling if I watch it now, it would be the worst thing I've ever seen.
I think so as well.
Do you ever have films like that where, like, as a kid, I loved Aliens in the Attic. I will not watch Aliens in the Attic as an adult because I know it's shit. I know it will be. It's like Percy Jackson. I was so disappointed when I watched the film again as an adult.
But we digress.
We digress. Margot.
Yeah, I liked Margot. I did feel that she was a bit male fantasy throughout.
Because she's not really a character. Like, she's only there for plot reasons. She's also not in it too much.
Pining over Lars for no reason other than she needs to be doing something.
Yeah, that's something where, because it's like a feature film rather than like a TV show, it's sort of, they feel like there's less priority to pad her out. She doesn't have anything to her character other than she's a co-worker and she fancies Lars, but we don't really know why. I guess because she sees how sweet he is, and he's Ryan Gosling.
And he's Ryan Gosling, the famously ugly Ryan Gosling. I wouldn't fall for him.
I like how they put a moustache on him to make him ugly. Moustaches are in now.
They are. They're trendy. I'd love a moustache if I could grow one.
I think Lars, when I was watching the film, I was like, I actually think it takes quite the strength of character in the 21st century to grow a moustache, because you know that people are going to be judging you because it looks so silly. And so I actually think Lars would be too shy to grow a moustache.
But it's a metaphor, isn't it, for being an outsider?
Well, yeah. And I guess he is an eccentric man because he has a sex doll as a girlfriend. So maybe I take that back.
Yeah, I think Ryan Gosling is great.
He must be a great actor because I can't believe that's the same actor as Ken. It's like Emma Stone. I can't believe it's the same as Whitney from The Curse. It's
like the other way around, isn't it? But whereas Ken is a doll, he's now a man dating a doll. That's crazy. That's like a cursed double feature right there. Yeah,
can you just... That's right, so that was one of mine. That was my only one I have for Lars and the Real Girl.
Yeah, I liked the brother. Really liked the doctor. Who played the doctor? My computer's frozen. She was very good. I've seen her in things.
Well, it was David Tennant. He keeps coming back.
Oh, don't be silly.
Apparently, it's like rumoured that Millie Gibson's already left Doctor Who.
That's confirmed. She's been binned.
It's not confirmed.
I saw it on The Guardian.
Yes.
That she's been replaced.
Have you seen Doctor Who announce it themselves? No. So it's not officially confirmed.
All right, sorry.
Yeah, but it seems like quite likely.
Who plays the Doctor?
Ncuti Gatwa.
Right.
I don't know. Who else is there? Paul Schneider. That was Gus. Do I know him?
Paul Schneider. I know him. I know him from things. What's he from?
That man. He played he played Dick Little in the assassination of Jesse James by the coward Robert Ford.
Yes, he did. That's where I know him
Dick
from.
Little's a real man. Why would someone name their child Dick Little? What the fuck? His name isn't even. His name's James Andrew Little. He chose to call himself Dick Little. That is a comedy genius. What a guy.
It's like episode 1 of The Curse. I've just finished that. That's Dick Little.
Yeah. The Cherry Tomato Boys. Is that in the first episode?
Because I saw A24 released merch about it, and one of them was the Cherry Tomato Boys, and now I get that that's rancid. Why would you want that on the top?
Right, what more is there to talk about Lars and the Real Girl?
What I thought was really clever about it was how it was all driven by him subconsciously, like the entire story. The arguments that he has with Bianca are from the community supporting him, and then he gets jealous of that, and then we're in spoilers, she dies at the end, but obviously can't die.
Surely Lars knows she's not real, even though he never says that he's aware of it.
You don't know.
So I just don't know what's going on inside his head. Like, is he just a lunatic?
Yeah. Well, he's never diagnosed anything.
No. Well, I think it's very much
for the best. But it's lovely that he dates Margot in the end. It's really nice. And it ends with you get the post-credits reveal. Did you see this?
Oh, what?
Obviously,
No?
he had filled Bianca with so much of his seed that it's kind of like a Seed of Chucky thing. So
wow.
You see a baby hand that's half human, half doll punch through the coffin, which sets up the sequel that unfortunately never happened.
Is that because I thought Mithrigan was part of this universe?
Oh, maybe that's it. Oh my god, yeah. Maybe they dropped the name for Mithrigan because Mithrigan is Bianca and Lars's daughter. That's a cursed double feature right there.
Yeah, I probably should have done that instead. A film which I'm going to just ask you now, because there's no point doing a cursed double feature because it's not cursed. It's a very normal double feature. You love, well, I like it. I like it a lot too. It's very, very good. But I think it's one of your favourite films is Her. I think love Her. That's quite a similar sort of thing to this.
Yeah, Her is a lot more bittersweet. I have a real longing for those bittersweet relationship films. And I think it's almost the classier, less independent cousin of this film.
Yeah.
What did you rate Lars and the Real Girl?
I think I gave it 3 stars. It should probably be 3.5. I think it was just because it was like, yep, that was good. I don't need to really... I won't think about that again after I've finished doing a podcast about it. So maybe I would say 3.5. It was a good film.
Very good. I gave it 4 stars. It seems I liked it more than the majority of people because there's only 3 stars on Letterboxd.
Oh, is it? Okay. Yeah, well, I can
Very
see
good.
I can see people watching it and being like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, this is a film my mum would turn straight off.
Oh, yeah, my mum would hate this. She hates everything, so that's fine. If anything, it's a mark of how good something is if she doesn't like it.
On to Filmmaking Lessons. What did you learn from Lars and the Real Girl or Poor Things?
Do you have anything you could say?
I learned that women aren't objects.
Oh, I didn't learn that. No, I didn't take that from either of these films at all.
I think you need to rewatch them and.
No, I think I got it.
I would take away. I love the indie vibes, but it's very much an indie film. Lars and the Real Girl. I think the direction is very standard. Everything about it is clean and well done and professional, but nothing to write home about. No. But Poor Things is the sign of a confident director at the peak of his power.
Yeah.
And the confidence in just everything he's done, from like unusual lens choices to unusual aspect ratios to unusual score. And
yeah, that was something that I do think was very clever. The idea of doing filmmaking, like how you were saying, how it starts off like black and white and very wide lenses where the characters weren't perfectly composed within the frames, and then it gets, by the end, it's like so well perfectly shot and framed. And I think it's like the filmmaking is evolving with the character, and I think that's something that's very interesting. The idea of almost as if it's directed, the film's directed by the main character.
Yeah,
since we're supposed to go through it like with Bella, it's nice to do it like that. I remember I did that for my uni film. I had like a scene where like a very stoic, like sure of himself character is talking to someone who's kind of all over the place right now, and you have like one of the shots locked off and then the other one's like handheld, and as a way of sort of helping it like amplify the way they feel. And so I think the way he did this was very clever. Yeah, just matching the direction with the film you're making. Like Lars and the Real Girl, like we said, it wasn't very noticeable. But I feel like sometimes that's fine. Like I don't think Ridley Scott's films, I think his shots are not always that iconic. It's more just he just point and shoot and looking at the action
and gets through it.
Yeah, but I think the characters are really strong, and I think Lars and the Real Girl, like it's like a play. Like it's just built off the characters.
On to Cursed Double Features.
Oh no.
I have 4 for Poor Things and 3 for Lars and the Real Girl.
Bloody hell.
I know. I was on a roll for this one.
In which case, let you start and I'll see if I can think of any.
Okay, I'll do my Poor Things. I would pair Poor Things and Superbad. Okay. A story about losers trying their hardest to sleep with Emma Stone.
Oh, that's very good.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you very much. Thank you. This is one that I stole from the A24 group on Facebook, where someone said the plot of Poor Things is just exactly the same as Frankenhooker from 1990. Nice. And I would love to watch it and see if that's true. Similarly, Poor Things and Barbie, because they're essentially the same film in different with different directors.
Yeah, one of them's like really pro-capitalist, and the other one is just like
yeah. And then finally, Poor Things and Ex Machina, because Poor Things is Ex Machina with an extra hour and a half on, essentially, and that'd be quite good. You could watch them at the same time.
Ex Machina is better. Ex Machina is a very good film.
Poor Things and Crazy Rich Asians, because it should balance out to a regular paid man.
I have Poor Things and the fake movie, The Fifth Sense, from the Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode, Mac and Charlie Make a Movie, or Write a Movie, I think it's called, which is when Dennis is giving his idea for what he thinks the plot should be. So he goes... and then he smells crime again. He's out busting heads, and he's back to the lab for some full penetration. Smells crime, back to the lab, full penetration, crime penetration, full penetration, crime penetration, and then it just sort of goes back and forth for 90 or so minutes until the movie just sort of ends.
Okay. Great. Okay.
That's Poor Things.
That should have been my one-line description of Poor Things. What a mistake.
I don't know if I can think of anything else.
Have we gone to Lars?
Can do.
Do you want to go first?
Okay. Lars and Barbie.
Wow, that's a great one.
Because Ryan Gosling's girlfriend is a life-size doll.
Not even like explained it properly. You've just given up halfway through. Great, I love that. Did you have any more, or is that your peak?
No, but I can have a think if you like. Her, Brian and Charles.
Wow, you're on fire today. Should I go?
The Threekin? Yeah, you go.
I've done Lars and Toy Story because it adds an extra layer of lore to Bianca.
Yeah.
Equally, Lars and the Boy, Bram's the Boy, because it adds a different kind of layer to Bianca.
There's a lot of films about like dolls.
Yeah.
Annabelle. I was thinking though. Oh yeah, you've got another one. Go ahead.
Oh, I've got one more. Lars and Blade Runner 2049, where Ryan Gosling dates a big fake lady.
Big fake lady. I was thinking during this film, like I was wondering if the director would do like a moment where it's like Bianca's real. I don't know whether they get an actress to play her, like because we're getting from like his point of view, or if like her head would just turn. I was staring at her the whole time, thinking like she's gonna blink or something, and it made me think like a horror film version of Lars and the Real Girl would be so good. Like it's the same film except like she's possessed. Like the idea of just seeing someone like. Looks so that'd be so uncanny valley. Like she's getting up and moving around and she turns her head. That would be so creepy.
You could do like a real 70s kind of exploitation film where someone steals her and tries to have sex with her, and then like her vagina clamps down on his dick and rips his dick off, and then she opens her eyes and gives him the look.
What's it called? Teeth? Is that what it's called?
Oh, is there a film like that?
There's a film with a woman's got teeth in her vagina. Okay, well, that was a fun episode. I enjoyed both those films.
So did I. Very good.
Next week, I am excited. I've not been this excited since the Wonkathon. We've got...
What-a-thon?
No, that wasn't anything to do with the podcast. You don't know about that. That's something else.
Okay.
So this is very similar. We're doing a film and the new film and
the old film.
The old one that it's based on.
Oh.
And we might also do Heathers, but I don't know. We probably will. Yeah,
we might also do the film that it ripped off but made less interesting.
We're going to do Mean Girls. The Mean Girls 2004 and the Mean Girls musical. And I'll also cover the stage version, which I have watched the bootleg of.
And you've seen Mean Girls 2 as well, which I have not seen.
I actually haven't seen Mean Girls 2.
Okay.
I might watch it. I might not. I've heard it's shit. So yeah, that's going to be really fun. I love Mean Girls. And I know for a fact from reading our Letterboxd reviews that we both have very different opinions on the new one. So,
well, I'll tell you one thing. That's Fletch.
What?
That's Fletch, like in the film.
No, it's
That's
not
Fletch.
No, it's not Fletch.
Yeah, it's like the John Hamm film that came out pretty recently. That's Fletch.
Stop trying to make Fletch happen. It's not going to happen.
Well, thank you very much for this week, Matt. And thank you to all of our lovely listeners. Make sure to leave any comments or cursable features or reviews or anything. Short films, leave them below. We would love to prove to Spotify that we do have people interacting with us. So just do it. Just bloody do it. Go on. It's 2024. Just do it.
Wow, that's really pumped me up. I think I will. I'm going to do that now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening, everyone. See you on the Mean Girls-a-thon. Matt, I'll see you on the next one.
I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, driver. Bye-bye.